Now, if you know me, you know I kill just about every plant that ever goes into my house. So I'm calling upon Michael Karen. He is with the USU Extension, and they partner with Thanksgiving Point. Michael, you're in a greenhouse, so you've got to be my go-to guy. What am I doing wrong?
So it's kind of funny that you ask in this time of season when we're kind of thinking about houseplants. Maybe we've had our poinsettias in, and we're
Right.
thinking about getting some greenery going. We're anxious to get a jump on spring. So the topic of houseplants comes up a lot, and the biggest mistake that people make with poinsettias, with houseplants, in my experience, is it's hard to get the watering program just right. And most people
Oh,
tend
yes.
to kill them with a little bit of love, and they actually thrive better on a little bit of neglect.
I'm going to say that I killed it with a little bit of love, but I think I did the love and neglect thing. Probably, it was feast or famine for that poor poinsettia that didn't make it till Christmas. So help me out. You've got a plant next to you, maybe some foolproof plants for me.
Yeah, so I've actually got a few foolproof plants here, and the one that I've got right here in front of me is a little plant called ZZ plant.
Okay.
ZZ is short for the scientific name, which is long and cumbersome, but it's a little bit more of a newcomer on the market. It is actually a plant that thrives in lower light conditions in the home, so it actually will work fine in most basements. But with all the other house plants, and the tips that we give is water thoroughly when it's dry. And when I say dry, that's when the soil turns a light brown and starts to maybe pull away from the sides of the pot. And then water real thoroughly. And one of the other things that I like to tell people to do is, like, if they're using a saucer like this one to set their plants in, when they water it, to water it very thoroughly. So you can see here, so I'm watering very thoroughly, and I'm allowing the water to actually fill up in this basin here. And so as the water fills up in this basin, I'm going to let it sit there for just a few minutes, and so that the soil will become evenly moist. But very, very importantly is, after a few minutes, I'm going to take this plant out of here, and it's going to drip a little bit. I might even set it in the sink. And then I'm going to discard this water, and I'm not going to let it sit in this wet foot.
Smart.
I'm going to let it sit in the swamp. So I'm just going to discard that, and then I'll either replace it in here or put it back on my plant stand or whatever after it's done draining. And that way
Very
it
good to
gets
know.
very thoroughly wetted, but it's not sitting in wet feet. And then I'm going to let it dry out thoroughly again between waterings. And some house plants, like the two that I have behind me here, are even more tolerant of being dry. And this one here is just called Tradescantia. This is a hanging basket one. And this one I've seen in greenhouses, in teaching greenhouses, where it doesn't get watered for most of the summer in the greenhouse.
Wow.
And it actually will revive just fine. And it's a great one for students to practice their cuttings on, take cuttings from it.
So it sounds like I need a plant like that, or I'm going to try your new watering technique. So Michael, I know that you guys are doing some virtual classes, and if people want to sign up for them, where can they go?
So our website, garden.usu.edu, has information about gardening generally in Utah. And if you want to know specifically about our gardening programs, you can contact the county offices directly at extension.usu.edu.
Fabulous. Michael, you've given me some oomph, so I'm going to go buy a new plant today and see how long I can keep it alive.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Jenny.